of PRX on the global stage since then. It's time for redemption to see if the train is going to keep on rolling.
Here we go, folks. Into the pistol. Heretic start on defense. Well, already we've got this play up through connector here. Gonna leave me the Prowler that tries to get him in. Wood on the breach this time around. A fault line comes out at a decent time.
Could be in a bit of trouble if there's a pop flash out of this, but no, it's just going to be a pivot towards the spawn. The minimap is bizarre right now. Triple push from Team Heretics all the way through B, creeping into the spawn of the attackers.
It's going to defeat a lot of this KJ util placed in A main. PRX here able to push out from Link.
There's just no way that they're going to expect this retake to be coming from all of these angles. Benji Fishy biding his time right now, allowing the rest of the players to get in position.
They have to know they're on a clock though. Look at the lurk coming here from Boo. They'll be turning up from A main in time, but PRX want to push through. Flash in the direction of Flowers, doesn't see anything. Briefly pinged out on the site. That haunt does give a lot of information now. PRX want to push ahead of this wire, but look, caught in the grab well here. Devi's got to sit. And then Wood's going to take first contact with Device tucked in the corner. It's a 2 for 2. Forsaken buys this time. Opts to double back. There's no plant yet.
No, they've got enough time though. They want to try to pivot to B, but these 1v1s being taken are awkward. Forsaken, lovely trade. Brings it to the 2 versus 2. And in the meantime, Patman had been making his way over towards this B site. It's going to be awkward for Team Heretics on this reclear. There's so many positions that these last 2 players could be tucked into, but they opt for the double hauls, play together.
Of course, Patman dubs as the handler for this PRX team. He's a tight leash on them and deals with Miniboo as he tries to approach from B long. It's on Boo. Now they know he's here. The Horde reveals his location. And the IGL now needs to make a play for Horde. He knows what the setup is, but he has to face it. Natty and Patman deals with him as PRX with the pistol.
That is the steady hands of the man who has just been a consistent element since joining this PRX team. Comes up in the first pistol round for his global debut. Pivotal 2K for Patman, wins that duel towards long. What a bizarre pistol to start off this game. The map being entirely flipped by both sides. But PRX making that nice pivot with those 30 seconds or so remaining, getting over to get that plant on B.
Temptation to double back on A when Benji got taken low. But PRX have a clear call to hit that B side now. Let's see what they got for this anti-eco. It's a group up towards that B side. Note that the shear wall's been placed behind them.
This is looking just absolutely free for PRX here. Team Heretics opt to go for this gamble stack towards the A site. They're not going to find a thing, and at that they've got all classics. But of course, when you're running this Euro, you are going to always be prioritizing just farming up those orbs. The dimensional drift has just been one of the highest power ultimates in the meta this year.
Razorvine deployed in horses. It's tough for Benji, and Jing explodes. It's an easy judge pickup. And now for the rest of Team Heretics.
Spike planted.
They're going to have to likely perish to the spike. Sorry, Sliggy, no Molly's here, mate.
Feels like running Raze on this map is unorthodox, doesn't do justice to the agent being played here. It is so uncommon. And that kind of play, that double satchel back into holes, we're going to be seeing a lot of that from Jing, taking opening engagements, being set up to try and get in really deep with these satchels on attack. Divide with this Ghost, hoping to just pick off a couple players right now.
On a second guess, fault line, they're trying to catch him out. Some old orbs on the table here though for PRX. If Heretics get a little bit too close, Oriens will have his. And the rest of PRX have already gotten out of dodge. And that'll be that. 4 perish to the spike for Heretics. But now we're well and truly on the road. And this is a comp from PRX that we've seen them pick up very recently to good success. We're kind of figuring out on the fly exactly how they're going to make best use of this Raze mobility.
I mean, after watching months of Teo on this map, both teams have come out with very unique approaches. If these guys tried to do any prep for each other, that is out the window entirely. This is going to be who can call best on the fly, who can adapt the most, or are these just going to be 2 teams running it down on each other?
We might get that here.
Haymakers.
Look at the util set up for this A main fight. Miniboo fancies a little bit of it, but PRX is slower on the uptake. It's a smoke out on them, but they're going to try and follow this Raze util in. Miniboo has a swing. Something gets ahead of it. Rien's though able to follow up on the grab well, and now will take up this position of boxes. And that's stunning stuff for Rien's.
Spike down.
Just what the doctor ordered. Forsaken is out of the game essentially. How do we break back in? Wood on the breach.
In a situation like that, you're going to see this utility from the Team Heretic side be so powerful. Honestly, remarkable that something isn't even able to get that first blood. You're trapped in the grab well. There's a stun being thrown onto him as well. PRX opt to go for a pretty loose call here, just triple swinging through the smoke with multiple players there. They're lined up. Just doesn't work out.
Clean. Let's go. Nice work.
Not the bonus I think the PRX were looking for. Heretics really taking control of that A main position, and PRX might be tempted to test them again.
Placing swarm grenade.
Here we go. This is PRX economy on the line in their first buy round. A lot of emphasis towards mid. It looks like they just want to go for a very quick A split, or at least threaten that to open things up. Here comes that double satchel. Hit the push. Oh, he can't be getting that.
Oh, there's more where that came from, Wyatt. Divine's having to deal with Benji. And now you're trapped if your Rien's in A main. He's only good for the one. Minibu needs to try and find a way into the game, but he's at risk of being crunched on here as Forsaken gets the spike down. Clock is ticking for Minibu, and eventually he'll be stuck out of position. It's on Boo. Stuck here for Flowers, and there's not a whole lot to be done.
And that's exactly what you're going to expect from this PRX team. Just mental double satchels in from Jing that you're never going to be prepared for. You're never scrimming against this. They are a one-of-one team, and Jing is a one-of-one Raze. Again, it's going to come down to these adaptations on the fly. Boo caught by something. PRX in danger of being on an eco if they lost that round, but taking it in convincing fashion.
This is no way you're ready for this.
Yeah, no, I mean, having to make that adjustment. Look at him, he dodges the fall line as well. That movement is so smooth.
And again, we're seeing Heretics try and slow the game down with these nebulae, right? Smoke up and force PRX to flash through them. That's another situation where that attempt to stall for Heretics is utterly defeated.
The first round, this is the first round we're going to have an ultimate on the playing field. Rien's has already put up 6 kills, has gotten to that Nightfall relatively early, so perhaps that could be the critical element of Team Heretics winning this buy round that does just have Boo on a Bucky.
That was just really a token effort for PRX to keep Benji interested here over towards Connected, because they pulled out after that Prowler was deployed over towards this B side.
There was a Prowler reclear just then from Rien's towards Art, and now opting to double up control A main with Minibu. PRX though, they have just slowly pivoted over towards this B side. Here comes the full execute. So much utility for backhauls, but at the moment that Molly is going to keep Jing at bay. They know who has this Bucky. They can just try to avoid him.
He clears the Razor Vine though, so there's an option for Boo to spring forth should he need to, but he's sat here with the Bucky. It's an awkward line to be on. Patience for Boo. He's going to get shot up through the wall though. Benji can't hold mid, only finds his one. And now from Tower, Heretics have to make the play. God, that happened in light speed. PRX rack up another one. And this is two teams that are going to fight round after round to impose their will on each other. There's no backing down from here.
This PRX team that has gone on the run to get here have maintained that lightning fast, exciting play, but it's just so much more regimented than when their stage 1 started, when they were going 0-3, when they looked down and out. That execute is fantastic, and I love that they are able to slow down the game and get into that little tight double peak jiggle to deal with the Bucky backside. And even in that moment, something takes the fight, but he backs off. They just play safe, disciplined when they need to now. That's fully on display in a round like that, and it puts Team Heretics on an eco.
Heavy PRX pings towards back hole here. Looks like they're not going to waste too much time getting up onto this B side. Once again, C's thrown in. Jing disrespects the Razor Vine. Boo is absolutely not ready for that. He's wrapped around with the judge of this more where that came from, apparently. Jing is unchained, cannot be stopped at this stage. And Heretics don't quite have the arsenal to slow them down meaningfully. Grabwell is going to be avoided by Rienzi, extricates himself, but now the boys are back. Flooding into Link.
Ruthless, just taking the fight to the players with the Sheriffs. When you have Jing on your team, one of the greatest Raze players in the history of this game, just let him run wild. Build your plays around him. No one's running the Raze here, but they make it work. He is destructive when he's getting his pace into back halls.
How is Boo supposed to establish a foothold in halls against this Fade Util?
Going to be pivotal to the outcome of this first half. 4 ultimates available for PRX. Team Heretics the one, but close to a couple more with their economy on the line. Full investment.
Front line off the rip. Jing here, expecting almost a push into Plaza by Heretics. It doesn't come. And now they're going to start to clear into Connector. Wood has given up this space. Play a more passive line. He doesn't see them cross. Showstopper pop. Jing is headed on the guts. Oh, he's headed over towards Art. Surely he doesn't wrap on this player. Benji's about to get real busy, folks, and he's dodged the rockets. However, Patman handles him. Once again, playing through these smokes, the boost slows the pace down, and the shots have been good enough to make it something in Forsaken verse 3.
Who's next?
Wood is slowly flanking. Nebula drops, but the ultimate is ripped by something. Going to get all the information on this side, clearing out Secret, just letting Forsaken know that he's safe to pivot towards this back area. They want to flip the map right now. Stuns coming through. Something feels like he's in so much danger. Gate crashes out to main, and that's just going to separate these two PRX players. It's going to come down to individuals. 1v1s, the cosmic divide even being used here.
This is going to at least give a safe pocket for something to get that plant. He gate crashed away from the fault line.
Oh, the timing for Forsaken! Minibu just has to watch too many angles. He's so scared. He knows that's, Forsaken could be going for him.
You got two initiators up here for Heretics. Decent util for this retake, but the cosmic divide is a bit of an issue. Forsaken's going to anchor here behind this Nebula. Information, though, is kind of out of date about where Heretics could be coming from. But now, a bit more of an inkling. Forsaken, is he going to push this?
Enemy remains.
Something handles it there from A-Main, and Forsaken does his job. That is a 5-round lead already amassed by PRX.
That was the perfect swing timing from something in main. When the game gets chaotic, that is when PRX thrive. Frankly, you could say the same for Team Heretics, but that's even more of PRX's element than theirs. Rian's used that Nightfall, but to no avail. And you're just seeing Minibu placed in this uncomfortable situation. Has to watch a couple of different angles. They're feeling good.
Both brothers on the Heretic side have definitely looked overwhelmed in their position so far. And here's a double satchel play for Jing. Well, you've got A-Main control, especially up against this half-bite.
It's a cool way to take A-Main, that pop flash, double satchel, and they just want to continue this in. Teleport from something. Jing with a nade kill. Something beautiful. Lined up. Multiple headshots. Making light work of this eco.
And now Heretics, you've got the double Marshall play available to you. Riente's going to have a crack, see what he can find. Jing has no time for it though, and Minibu will get wrapped on. Oh no,
don't do it! Oh no,
humanity, something! This is a Masters, you can't do that!
You can't do that in the first half of the opening game.
Oh buddy, that is cold.
The opener? Oh, come on, man. That is a devious move from something. Inflicting 5,000 mental damage to Heretics early.
A 6-round lead wasn't already enough. Here's this heavy util play that forced Boo out of that position. Oh, buddy, right between the shoulder blades. And it's all smiles for PRX right now, Wyatt. Rifles back in the hands of Heretics, though. A focus over towards his Art and A-Main split potentially.
They want to act fast. Here comes that Nightfall, clears out sight. A-Main, not going to ping onto anybody.
Alarm bot triggered on Art.
Oh, Team Heretics is going to try to fight this. You could have Minibu try to pop flash out with PRX get onto the site. Steel Garden going to be ripped, going to connect onto everyone.
Yeah, okay, we're going to have that one in play. Devi is going to make it very hard for Heretics to defend this properly. They're going to have to give it up potentially, but they're anchored in. Minibu sees a bit off that dimensional drift, but PRX have actually syncopated the tempo here, and there's a drift over to B from the defenders.
This feels like a new PRX round right now. Again, just slowing it down. They tap the plant. They want to bait this utility out.
It's about to get messy, folks. Strap in. There's the ping. The Horde sees 2. Jing with the spray. Boo is down in dugout. Something tries to emerge behind the flash, and Wood is caught with utility's hand.
Oh,
there is something.
God.
Closes the account. PRX show us another side to the coin. It's a pump fake, slow roll on A that teases Heretics out.
This is simply not the PRX of old. You are watching a new team. Everything they do there, controlling the tempo, is just utterly fantastic. It is perfect play. They slow things down, allow some of those players from Team Heretics to leave after that Steel Garden was used. They tap the plant just to bait out that initiator utility. Then they get back in, post up, refight. It is picture perfect onto the team to try and get them over the finish line.
Maybe they should get off the starters block, Wyatt, first. The one round.
I mean, devastating for either of these teams who are favorites in the group stage to immediately go 0-1.
So that game crash didn't go into halls for something. It's tucked in that corner. Benji not close enough to see it. So they're pulled out of halls entirely, have Heretics. And again, this is just mostly a Sheriff's round stinger for Miniboo, who hasn't gotten into the game in a meaningful way yet either. Wyatt and PRX are swarming over B.
They just love this anti-eco B slam with Jing getting into the halls with a judge. This time, Boo's out of there. He's not trying to die to that again.
What can Heretics
Obscuring
dig
vision.
up here? Forsaken aware. And he's already seen that Prowler, knows it's coming. Fault line. Thrown out here, no one to catch onto, or perhaps the vice behind him, but Forsaken is confident. The standout player on this PRX roster. And boy howdy, he's sharp as a tack, folks.
He had an unreal run with PRX when they went on that 5-game win streak. When the train began rolling in the playoffs to qualify, Forsaken was their most lethal player on any role that he had to be thrown on. Just the glue of this team.
You mean all of them,
anything.
right?
I mean, yeah,
all of the roles.
5 different regions
Flawless.
in the lower final, going plus 34.
Get you someone who can do it all. This is going to be a huge amount of pressure. Heretics are feeling, at least those rifles are back. Lockdown to work with. Cosmic Divide at the ready for Boo.
PRX playing a 2-2-1 right now. Late in this half, slowing things down. They have been at their iconic lightning-fast pace with devastating executes into these sites. Here they're just waiting out to see if Team Heretics want to go for something more proactive with this breach that they've got. Miniboo is postured in A main right now. Here comes that Dimensional Drift. So he's going to get spotted. Miniboo is under a lot of pressure at the moment.
Just hoping to fight ahead of it. There might be a safe pocket for something here to just emerge in. Or call a cancel. Yep, he's
There's no way.
He's ready for him. That might be a little bit audacious even for PRX. Miniboo tries to hold it off. Bangle Jing is just a little better. The guy is running roughshod over the defenders. And Benji's going to get caught on a timing, most likely. Forsaken just rips him a new one. And Boo again, hands out wide, says, what do you want me to do?
The Wii players are spotted by the Dimensional Drift from something. He still gets out of it in secret.
Jeez.
3 players, yeah, let's just hit the site with our 4 now. They really said, nah, I'd win. they do not slow the game down there. That's just crazy decision making. But all 5 of them are so on point. The guts, the confidence for something to get out there is crazy. And they follow up. Team Heretics, they are divided. They're using 1v1s. And Jing getting that crucial opening kill for the team to get into that site.
We are sleeping, mate. We are sleeping.
Sleeping, says Nilzinho. The last time these two teams played, it was PRX that mathematically eliminated Heretics from Madrid last year. They said the emotions got the better of them. But now they're sleeping. Maybe they could use some of those. Jing pops himself up. It's the showstopper that's avoided for the most part. Just he already cloned their Renee main, so eyes turn towards Lincoln Art.
Does get some valuable information, even though it's unfortunate that that rocket was not able to get any value for the PRX side. They had their eyes on mid, no pressure coming from Heretics there, so they're going to go back to this B pivot. So many rounds for them. They've had the ability to hit the site with just 1 player anchoring. Opportunity for Benji, but knows he certainly can't go for more. Just has to back off. He tries to anchor. He knows he's going to get overwhelmed by neutral, but in fact, PRX, they're just going to use 2 ultimates. That very safe Cosmic Divide to allow the free plant.
And they can fall back off this. We can go back to, though it's uncharacteristic, the post-plant spam set up for PRX, but they're more likely to play ahead of it. Now, this is a wrinkle in the plan. The lockdown will allow Heretics to potentially filter in here, but something... well, they got rid of their lockdown, never mind. Something's happy to wait and bide his time here.
Patman going to double up with him as well. Something wants to get some early spam.
All this team not opening the side up enough. Miniboo's going to go for it. He's able to find 2. And that's the best Heretics have looked this game, and it's not even close to enough.
The fundamentals are just fantastic. Patman getting back into holes to double up with something. Multiple players swinging through the Cosmic Divide that was thrown down. Just decimating Heretics on their re-entry.
Well, we're here for a good time, not a long time apparently, folks. That is a brutal first half for Heretics. We'll be back after a short break. Collect yourselves, and we'll return to this opening matchup of Masters Toronto. Playing a different comp, and by God, it's a different outcome.
I did not expect this map to be in the pool. I certainly didn't expect one of these teams to pick into it. So that was very surprising as we got into this. But it's no surprise anymore. PRX, they have been grinding this map before this tournament, and it is showing. This is some dominant, exceptional, and unique gameplay.
The words of Coach Nilzinho, Heretics have been sleeping for that first half. Hopefully, 11-1 rings to the tune of the alarm clock that gets them back in this game. Midabu's already gotten his way onto this A site now, tapped up a little bit, and PRX have not quite shown themselves yet. Something lurks amongst the shadows. That's a bloody good timing, at least for one. Devay, what a shot! Boo just runs into it. Wu can deal with him at least. Player advantage for PRX though.
That is a late swing, but a crucial kill from Wu. Benji, can he catch a timing? He would have to be the one for Heretics right now to save them, to get this pistol round, keep them in the game.
Looks good. Jing, however, inching around the corner. It's a very low health Woot that's able to dispatch him. Now we've got a God's Honest 2 versus 2, and here's Forsaken, gets the spike loose. It's up to Benji. Prowler, play from behind it. Patman sees his quarry. Not quite ready to finish the job. 35 seconds left in the round. Patman holds his ground. A diabolical start to the second half for Team Heretics. It might already be over.
He's won both pistols for this team. Obviously, Heretics, they're going to have to come into this with a tragic force. Hope that they can look like G2 with some stingers, maybe. This is stunning from PRX.
Finish off, brimming with confidence. Forsaken is loving it.
Just doing the little things right. There's something with the confidence to push out of that smoke when Devay is being pressured. They fight together. The fundamentals are just so clean right now. What a joy this is to see PRX in prime form.
Round number
White
14.
hot.
That could be the last of the game, but there is a stack on the B side. Patman, though, takes that one for the team. Forsaken finds his, and then PRX realizes action elsewhere. We've got Jing's going to start filtering up through Connector. He may see the second wave here from Heretics Cross.
He's going to try to swing out. He will. Gets the first tap down and double swing. Forsaken follows in. A Minibu caught on the lurk. And it's the IGL, the big brother of the team.
In the unenviable position of having to salvage an impossible situation for his team. This would be one of the nastiest losses that Heretics have suffered in quite some time. Boo here's going to try and go to work with him, but Devay shuts the book on this first map. What a way to make a statement here in Toronto. PRX are back.
Against PRX, and
he got his wish.
He got his wish. He might be regretting that, but we are heading to a map pick where Heretics have looked really good with this Neon.
Look at this push up already from PRX on the defense side. They absolutely want to brawl. Heretics, though, have to be ready for it. But how? How do you stand against this avalanche of defenders? Wood is going to limp away from that early encounter. Here's one shot. Has to cross the mid that Devay has on lock.
Yeah, doubled up even with something, and Devay had been patiently waiting on that angle anyhow. Nice little 10-second round coming through to open this game. PRX yet to lose a pistol. Heretics yet to gain an ounce of momentum.
And encounters like this early in the round are just going to stretch your cohesion in these firefights to the very limit.
What we saw there, frankly, is classic PRX on this map. They play standard stuff, but they play defense in a far more proactive way than most of the teams in the current meta. Most teams play a lot of safe positions, then go for retakes. They are constantly doing 4-man, 3-man pushes down, A main, down B main. Heretics are going to need to be very concerned with that.
Inching now over towards the B side of the map. And see something back up here to bolster this B presence. Standard Viper wall here from Heretics, and definitely indicates they intend to head this way momentarily. Looks like already the Dizzy is trying to scout the way. Unique Neon composition. It's going to be tough to find a foothold, though, as something takes his and gets off the line.
Fair amount of damage done, though. Now it's something with the rifle. May want to toss that over to Forsaken or Devay if they can actually meet up, and it looks like, that's going to be the case. The much healthier, full-armored Devay will take control of that Vandal. This Team Heretics want to pivot back towards mid. with this Neon. They like to go for a lot of B splits, a lot of fast-paced
Oh!
action.
Devi here, from multiple angles, can operate here, can play off the turret, take contact as they try and push up into kitchen. Here's something, says, I have my rifle back, thank you. And there it is. Another quick round as PRX don't give an inch.
Maintain all the rifles, just lose one of the pistols, basically as good as it gets. Heretics invested nothing so they can get the absolute max here. The one round they did actually win on Pearl was an anti-bonus.
There's pretty risky stuff or something there, but par for the course. PRX fans will be very familiar with that.
Run, boys! Let's go, let's go, let's go!
Now, of course, buy up here for PRX. Heretics, rather. Forsaken has a Bucky.
PRX have 3 players B main, time to walk right at the attacking team, as they always do. Heretics, they're patient, they're waiting, but they're losing the duels. Great trade from Rienz, though.
Little one-way, something tries to put together on a dime, but Rienz is a little bit quicker. Now we'll remove the presence from mid. As Forsaken starts to take advantage with his spaces given up. There will be a turret to spot him out. Patman with the Bulldog. Stacked up here alongside Jing. Does the bite match the bark for PRX on this B side?
Now, when Miniboo is alive, they love to go for like a bolt in tandem with a recon to take back Yellow, but without him, it's going to be much tougher. Patman wants to fight this, but the Dizzy connects late.
Macing's not there. Jing actually got off that live. Oh, high wingman. He needs to get ahead of it, though. The Span's coming in through the smoke. Still, PRX cut down to 2. Here's Forsaken with the Bucky.
Last player standing.
It's all going to be on Devi now. Benji and Woot, armed to the teeth, but no plant just yet. And no wingman to get it done for free.
They want to slow this down.
30
catch
seconds
Devi.
left.
He's pushing, but he's speaking out, and wow, he gets another. Heretics, they convert the anti-bonus as they did on Pearl, but they escape with only 1 gun. That is devastating for their economy.
Although the spacing looks better, trading into that B side of the map, they sustain heavy casualties to do so.
Player
But
standing.
perhaps they're starting to get a feel for that
Let's go,
up-tempo
huge
style. The PRX are trying to throw at them defensively.
You could see that they were waiting. Miniboo was just chilling on that angle, but didn't win the duel. Yeah, Chrissy called it out on the desk that Miniboo does need to step up. He is given so much util on this map to thrive when they're on attack. He needs to come to life.
Something already wants to assert himself today as the Owl drone starts to make a foray on the B side of the map. Just like Patman wants to play safe for the time being. It's something with an outlaw this round.
Posts up on that deep A line. Wants to go even further off the drone that Forsaken is sent for him. Does actually spot out Boo.
One way will be refreshed. Give Patman the edge, but it's going to be a Dizzy on out. Patman already on the spray. He got his. Heretics
Well
slowed
done.
up somewhat on their way over towards this B side of the map, but now that Viper Wall is something they can play from behind. Nanoswarm's triggered.
That was a great way to fight that from Team Heretics. Multiple players jumping out to face together off of that Dizzy when the crosshair would be thrown to break it by a defender. Something now posted up at mid. You can see PRX on the rotates getting towards this B side. Will Benji catch the timing?
He's got a player though coming from his left. He might not be ready for the 2 push. And there it is. Once again, PRX give as good as they get.
Rifle upgrade for Devi now as well. Woot solo. These shock darts have done tremendous damage. It's going to force out the Thrash. Can it actually get a connection? And even if it does, can anyone get a kill off of it? No.
Decent ping though on the side of PRX, but here is Forsaken with the Odin. Jing wants to try and push up. Wood is very, very low, but there's still a spike to defend now. Heretics just going to try and hang on here.
Remaining.
Hold on against this relentless onslaught, but Devi wraps on Yellow. And Wood just has nowhere to go.
PRX on this map are just so oppressive. They're taking so much forward space, and they're so happy to make fast, bold defensive pivots off of that information to stack proper sites. This was a great moment for Team Heretics that we highlighted, but from there you just have Forsaken coming back in with the very rare Icebox Odin.
One enemy remaining.
Heretics at least tried to manipulate the pace, or at least dictate it to some degree, but PRX are always asking for more, always trying to assume some of that real estate, that mid push that catches Benji out. Eventually, Forsaken steps up on Yellow. Heretics are going to be on the clock every single attack side round.
And Here we go, 3 players ready to fight from PRX towards A, and they find another first blood.
And it's Mini Boo down at the start of the round again. Wyatt, something! He's on the line, able to get back, and he knows there's more where that came from. The shorty. God, he's thirsty for it.
Remaining. Spike
It
down.
is up to Boo,
A.
as it often is. Again, this will be PRX with another stunning start to the game. This, by the way, is a team, PRX, that has an 83% attack side win rate on Ice Watch. So God forbid we get to that part of the map and they're ahead.
Now, even at this juncture in the game, they've beaten Team Heretics to getting multiple ultimates. The one that Heretics did have, that Thrash, had already been used by Wu to try and convert that pivotal gun round. It was unfortunately lost for them.
One enemy remaining.
The economy for PRX is getting out of control, and Heretics, they have opted to go for another early timeout here. You certainly can't blame them. Ability to try to re-clear late, and most of these rounds, they're just losing the opening duels. Neil said on map 1, but they did not bring their A game. In fact, they were nowhere near it. Only 2 rounds to their name at this point across this series.
Okay, now no turret to play off of in Kitchen. Nice little lineup. And already those one-ways being set up. Will allow Patman occasionally to swing on them, and he hears DC come out, so he knows there's the pitter-patter, a little Heretics footsteps on this B side of the map. Devi's been drawn over in that direction to assist. Benji, the curry spot, okay. Not too shabby, my friend. Holds it down admirably. That is definitely going to throw a wrench in the works for PRX, and now that lockdown will allow Devi to at least get some space. Rienz is waiting for him.
Caught by the players who were able to just get out of that lockdown circle. Play in the corner. Credit to Benji Fishing. He just wins it out straight up. 2 for 1. And then Patman was trying to anchor back yellow, but that's a position that you really can't be in alone against Team Heretics.
Jing has got very little to see. Yeah, likely just to try and walk away from this one with cover going out. Weapon intact, even though there's enough currency here for PRX to continue to take some risks and try and keep a lid on the economy. Jing does not like his chances.
That anti-eco flawless they had earlier has put them in an excellent economic position. But like you said, might as well just save, keep the cash rolling for PRX even in this round loss. I think Patman is realized on this one that trying to anchor back yellow solo against the way the Team Heretics like to fight towards B is not going to be the right choice. They send too much util back there. It's tough to deal with the Neon.
Benji's ready for this inevitable mid-push, and I think Devi does not account for the pocket that's left in the corner of that A side by the lockdown. He sort of doesn't check this at all.
My ult is ready.
I know.
Rienz,
I
I think
know.
it would
Guys,
have us.
already, guys, we're double the rounds from last map.
It's a positive.
Guys got that quick math.
They'll take it. They'll take it. I mean, for a team like Heretics, who are just filled with talented, mechanical shooters, that's the first time any of them have really gotten a highlight-worthy play. Credit to Benji.
Hunter's Fury now from Rienz. Speculative. Doesn't yield any information whatsoever. They are aware, of course, that the Odin is in attendance today.
And those would be positions that PRX would typically love to just play into, but it's actually towards B where they've gone full aggro, something posted up close with Patman, and that's allowing the rest of their squad to be pretty steadfast towards this A site. Odin is going to be obnoxious to deal with.
But no one was watching pipes at the time. Mistaken actually gets back.
This could get dangerous, but now that the lockdown is used, that Hunter's Fury is going to need to be expended to break it, unless they just intend on getting out of here, which is going to be the case.
Oh, the Shocky does not hit. Well, that lockdown will be intact. And now Heretics able to make use of that to get entrenched here at this A side.
And they're going to want to use this Hunter's Fury with the Paranoia to get back in. This is fast. This is pacey from PRX.
Here comes the Hunter's Fury, belated as it is, but it's going to be Jing going to work with them. He's gotten in and under rafters. Something at a time they're going to get. It's Benji that answers that late round lurk. Wu deals with Forsaken. Jing gets his cap. He was already able to find these first 2 kills. But to expect him to make it 5, even for him, might be a little bit too much. Wu with the shoulder pick, shot through the knee, still an adventurer though. Boo and Benji are happy just to stay entrenched. A hard fought round here for Heretics, and finally, PRX Train is forced to throw the brakes on.
Wu beginning to hit some shots. I'm going to need to see that Benji one on the replay from his point of view, please. That looked ridiculous. Something on the updraft. The blade sword just plucked out of the air. All right, Heretics heating up a little bit individually. Ooh. That's crazy. That is a mental shot from Benji, who is starting to hit.
Still cranking 90. Good to see.
PRX, they're on defense. They do display something that they are typically very good at, which is very, very quick floods with excellent utility. Now here, more classic PRX, 4-man push up towards this A side, getting all of the space, collecting that orb, and then they post someone up and immediately go stack the other side. This is the name of the game for them on this map.
Once again, though, it's just going to be Divide B for now. Having one away from that Viper's pit. There's Benji again.
He's hitting. Push up. He is hitting. Spatman trying to trade the C-toss, but Benji gets out of the way.
Oh, this is stunning stuff. Benji Fishy. That's 3. Caught by the paranoia, forced to give him some ground, but now the youngster has some wind in his sails.
Spike down B.
Right, Wingman is going to be thwarted in his plant attempt, but the Thrash is going to go ahead now to pave the way. Surely Jing spotted now, detained. He's got Divine to watch him. Relay bomb comes in, a mini boom with the slide across. Heretics finally turning up to play.
Stunned just in case he starts throwing hands without his gun, I guess. Why not? All right, Benji's heating up. It looks like he's playing an aim trainer. Just has guys from all different angles swinging onto him. That awareness to catch the second that was coming out of A was so nice. And that is a read on a typical PRX play. Knows that when they're making that full rotate, there's going to be someone that's pushed up in A main.
4-2 is Heretics' Icebox record. The only losses to Fnatic. In fact,
that Raze back on Pearl, but this is one of the maps where he's not playing Raze. It's just not what they like to do. They just love this very standard comp, and they've had a lot of success with it.
Benji so far has been feasting, playing that mid. That's where so many of those kills have originated from. PRX just not respecting Heretics there. I think they've now been forced to bend the knee somewhat.
With this Viper's pit down, that's a fairly big commitment here. You do have Patman with that close range stinger to try and find an opener, shut down and execute if it comes in, and you're just expecting from Team Heretics at some point, if they intend on getting into this pit, which certainly looks like they're going to do, you're waiting for Riens to use this Owl drone, clear things out.
Take flight. Jing with the hero rifle will watch the mid pivot, but yep, there's going to be action over here towards the pit. That man cute, but not good enough. Tries to outfox the Owl drone.
I respect it. I respect the attempt.
Divide gets up on that line pretty quick. Miniboo, who's been quiet in this series and in this map as well, just needs to be a bit of a nuisance. Remains at large here over the site. And Snakebite's going to make it hard to play in from upper rafters. This is good looks. The hero rifle is still in play. Jing might try and wager it for something here. We'll take a pretty prescribed location, one that's going to be watched for at the back of the site. Heretics have seen enough. It's up to Jing here to step up, get himself some value off this round potentially, but once more, he will be sorely outgunned, outnumbered. And outdone by Benji. Flawless round here for Team Heretics. Finally steering the ship with the wind.
They're going to have an opportunity now as well to get a lockdown for Benji, who's just one away. Patman trying to time that. Hey, I'm not mad at it. He's got the stinger. We're on an eco round. Go for it. But he is caught out. And you can just see from Miniboo's point of view there, hitting this A site, how many options he has playing the Neon, getting into so many unexpected, unorthodox positions there can be incredibly effective.
So something's taken up the op now.
And that is the adjustment that was certainly called on that timeout from the prior round. Wants to post up towards mid, doubled up with Jing. A bit of protection for him.
Turret just got cleared. Looks like the go signal there for Heretics on the B side. They've just indulged in a surge forward here at B.
And their main intention really was to get that orb, get the lockdown. Recon is sent in to clear out back yellow from Riens.
This way.
Fast lane, pretending, hey, we are getting that position back yellow. Shocks as well, and now we're going to slowly pivot back. The spike has just been over there with Woot on A the entire time, but this is the danger. Something has been waiting for this cross.
On a Very tight line. He's going to see one. That's Rian's trying to cross. Dealt with. Something wants to repost the line, but very quickly, Heretics all got across to A. And he's going to know that in a couple of seconds.
And look at PRX, they're already rotating off this B site. They have Patman and Deep Yellow, and the other two players are making their way to A with some haste. And they tried to flood in. They might. No, not with that lockdown, though. Certainly going to be kept at bay.
I don't think PRX have the mechanism with which to remove that, so they're going to have to respect and pull off the site. That early rotate now kind of nullified. We're going to get a plant down. Heretics look to dig in here and anchor.
And it looks like they want to come right back in. Recon, Paranoia, here come PRX.
Heretics Viper's Pit now to play with Woot. Ensconced safely within the poison walls. Here's Forsaken, sees this Izzy come his way. Happy to spam through. Eventually PRX are going to have to commit. Woot has been dealt with. The Viper though, spawning the pit still at large. Jing wants to get past this now. Spam in Boo's direction. Mini Boo though dealt with. Patman is in here, sees the Viper, and there it is. The wall comes down, as does the curtain on Heretics in this round. Boo with a parting gift, but that's all that Heretics can muster.
Overwhelmed by the numbers, no real positions, deep sight. PRX are just able to get right back in for free and overwhelm everyone in that pit. It's somebody getting that opening kill, and then Spam connects on to Woot. Cooked from there.
You see how much PRX invest in getting that midline held. They send Jing with something. And then whichever way you slice it, whichever way they rotate, something is going to see someone.
Benji Fishy is actually picking up this attack operator, and it makes sense with the way that PRX play. Exploit their aggression, allow them to make their way into the angle that you're holding to get an opening kill. Keep the game slowed down.
Alarm bot out.
Benji here to very passive lane. He's just watching for the tube push down. That's not the plan for PRX this round, apparently. Once again, that's the one way being set up by Jing for the sake of Patman, the solo B player right now.
Deploying drone.
Orb taken by Forsaken into the deep drone on A. We have read this story before. The PRX try to adjust some of their players more towards that B side. Patman feels the need to retreat, at least temporarily. Recon for back yellow yet again. Here comes that Dizzy. Team Heretics making their way in, claiming this space.
At some point they had to disrespect the one way, they had to get moving. So Heretics now have that yellow control. Benji's still waiting for mid. He might not get anything with that up here.
Team Heretics, they do need to wait for this wall to come back up. Oh my god, PRX, they just want to go in off the Paranoia with a recon.
Looking for their own timing, marching to the beat of their own drum, but Woot, what a stunning mosh pit there to shut him down. Devi's able to find his two. And Benji's not in a hurry to get involved. Heretics have done well to trade up on this B site. This has drawn something in Forsaken across the map. We're going to have an advantage attack side post plant.
This is looking highly awkward towards mid. Forsaken left on an island towards B, just wants to slowly maneuver forward. Busha
Correction.
get this kill. What a snappy shot!
Now, have to deal with Woot, tucked in corner by Yellow. Doesn't want to give himself up a Forsaken. Don't even think about the knife, son! Here comes the Thrash. Something knows he now needs to gain some altitude, but finally Benji is rewarded for his patience in the round.
That lurking operator comes in at the very end. The final hour. That was interesting from PRX that they go for this pre-flight attempt before there's any effort to actually get the spike down. The wingman wasn't planting. It wasn't really a push forward. They just tried to catch raw timing. It does not work out. We're finally seeing
Yeah, I guess
the Alex that we know.
The question is, like, what is the cue that PRX are playing off of there? If they're just trying to manufacture a timing of their own, it doesn't work out because Woot has a really nice mosh pit.
Now here's some pace from Team Heretics, getting that Neon back yellow quickly. They know Patman could be in this poison cloud, so some shocks going in there, but they don't actually connect any damage, but forced to retreat.
Definitely a bigger commitment to the B side by PRX in this round. Hunter's Fury, lockdown, both available here in the last round of the half for the defenders. So behind the Viper's pit, here come Heretics. They are really looking to take some snowman space potentially here. Wyatt,
They just do it again!
timing doesn't pay off once more. Hunter's Fury now for Forsaken. Gets a tap on Benji, still no plant yet.
Right here.
that Hunter's Fury just used a little bit late. Boo has gotten his way all the way into the A site, and there's more than enough time for Team Heretics to make this pivot. Yeah, Forsaken can catch a couple in mid, though.
Is he too far forward? I like the high-low setup. That is brilliant! Heretics always aware of the thrust up mid from the defenders. We've seen it all half so far.
Swarm
That
grenade
is
out.
a great double face there.
30 seconds left.
All right, now the little things are beginning to come together for Team Heretics, and we're finally seeing a PRX who were utterly dominant, now struggling a bit with some of their timings. Again, they refight into B before there's any attempt to get the spike down. That Hunter's Fury comes a little bit late, and Heretics just have their crosshairs placed on all of the angles that they could be pushing out from.
Devi's giving himself away. No reason not to fully commit to this one, but Esbu takes him out. 7-5 half for Heretics.
And as you mentioned, Heretics have or rather, PRX have a, what, 80+% win rate on attack Icebox. So, despite the 7-5, they are not out of the woods yet.
Close half. Finally, some light from Heretics. Stick around. We're going to quick break, and we'll be back with more Icebox. Held PRX at bay, but PRX on the attack side of this map, really, really strong. 83% win rate through Pacific Stage 1. Lossless on this map.
We've seen when Heretics have had success on Icebox too, it's actually typically, as far as the scoreboard, Benji Fishy and Woot that are putting up the big numbers as Minibu draws a lot of that attention on the Neon. This is fast right now from PRX, collecting too early.
And this mid-thrust here from Heretics might have fumbled. Rian's waiting. Hips in the night. Yet to leave port, but eventually someone's going to raise anchor and get to it. Rian gives himself away. Jing wins it out. What an ill-fated encounter for Heretics, and it's up to Boo again. Boy howdy, what a mountain he has to climb. Spike, of course, already planted. This is what you ask for PRX fans. Getting off to a good start with a pistol win here.
All they've had are good starts. They've won every single pistol. If Team Heretics could win this map without either pistol round win, that would be a tremendous feat for them.
And they've shrunk, of course, the lead to a singular round. And once again, it's a short round, Wyatt. This early engagement here in mid. Jing sees action over on the B side, gets involved there, then whips around. That's an all-timer. That's an all-timer.
He knows someone is there because he couldn't move forward.
His body blocked.
Hold up.
Let's go, boys! Woo! Our pistol, what the...
All right. PRX are just too good on these pistol rounds. It's going to be Minibu investing actually into the Marshall for Heretics on that deep angle from yellow over towards B. Pretty standard there with the shock and the molly to deny that early access to the orb from the defending team.
Benji is absolutely playing the most important position on the map. Just as we saw from something in the previous half. Unsurprisingly, Patman's moved up. Minibu punished though on that little swing. Tried to set him up with a Marshall, but he will be ruined. Run over there, given no space at yellow whatsoever, and Boo now is about to feel the net close in. Patman up, walkway sees. What was that? Okay. Up on the ledge he goes. Proud as a peacock, but Rienz is able to find his brace of two. Once again, though, it's a heavily disadvantaged situation. Rienz desperately trying to avert an even game here. Likely has too much on his plate. Devia will silence him.
Fair enough, bringing the three most important rifles into the next round. Cash from the Spike clan as well, so PRX will be more than happy with that. Team Heretics have done a nice job on these anti-bonus rounds. That has kept them in the game here. Otherwise, things would have really spiraled out of control early. Some nice shots from Rienz, who is just a consistent presence for Heretics. For me, really just has all of the aspects of the game on lock. He can really do it all.
It's like the Heretics team have said, we are not kids anymore. We're not rookies. There's no excuse for us to drop these important matches, and they've recovered well here on Icebox, but there might be an inflection point lying here in this round as both sides have rifles. It's a very healthy bonus for PRX.
Taking the time at the moment, something has been allowed to take all the space and be made. Oh no, that is disastrous, Boo! Just doesn't think that someone would be that close.
Last time it was Minibu got caught out at yellow. This time, Boo has just got a little bit too close to the sun.
Swarm grenade out.
Bear in mind, this is Team Heretics with absolutely nothing left in the bank. This is must win at the moment, Patman. This fight is so awkward. That's as messy as it gets.
The late paranoia comes in, but Patman definitely supported in that engagement. Something eventually that was put to bed on the B side of the map, and this has precipitated a pivot. Now with mid-control, PRX can go towards A and not worry about getting caught, but it's a pump fake.
What a timing for Patman to catch, and they have Forsaken playing towards A again. They could really pivot anywhere here. It's just, we're playing TDM, who wins that out.
Patman the Viper.
This is a mental
The
realm.
stabilizing element of PRX, by the way, is just taking duels across the map. And he has opened it right on up for PRX. Miniboo has to play second fiddle now and try and make use of that mobility to cross the map. Woot is already set up in Crow's Nest, though.
It does have the wingman to actually pressure a defuse, force some people to swing out. Maybe that's a way in, find a pick.
A small gap in that smoke will be challenged. Woot has to drop down, and the spacing isn't quite there, apparently. Miniboo steps out only to be riddled with Vandal shots.
PRX are just so ready to swing together at any audio cue. Boo so frustrated in this moment, not expecting that anyone can be pushed up that close. Something can hold that for free.
Oh man, that was... I mean, Benji's been credited with some very sharp moments, even on this map. Look at him shut down something as he raps over towards Belts that many rounds ago.
Team Heretics, they're bringing in 5 sheriffs, 5 regen armors. Obviously, they have the shooters to pull off a round like this.
Miniboo forced off pipes there. 410 smoked out, giving something a staging ground. Okay, all in rafters. Heretics committed to anchoring this site with these sheriffs. How far does their gun skill get them against a fully armed PRX team on a roll?
Listen, they've got the right stack to do it. The weapons might be decent enough. Something shut down early. They're trying to get into this site. PRX Jing is pushed up, but he can't connect.
Messy stuff! Divine Forsaken now, got to pick it up, but there is Forsaken. Quick response, and he doubles down. Oh, Hunter's Fury.
He's susceptible to just one shot from it, but he's able to get out of the way, but he can't! Read by Riens. He's too smart, too aware.
Yeah, with the Fury of Olympia. Now, Devi has to recover the spike and put this together. Both of his opponents, half armor and sheriffs. He has a Vandal to his name.
And he has to fear a potential flank because he was out of range from the turret that was placed. Wants to double back now. 30 seconds to play with. Does he just try to clear this out, get back to A? Does he try to gun it to B? Yeah, he wants to leave. He wants to leave. He's hoping that in this situation, Team Heretics would just leave the 2 on A and then, you know, go for that advantage retake over towards B. But when the spike goes down, that will allow a rifle to be collected perhaps. Or no, they just want to go for this with the sheriffs. Riens does have a recon.
Devi has a turret to play contact off potentially. Does he have the time to set it up? Yes. Not too bad to have this Sentinel utility at your disposal in such an important clutch.
Look at Devi. He still has to be weary about this flank as Riens is making his presence known forward.
Trying to get ahead of the Owl drone. Does he have a timing on Boo? Spots him out. Util in hand. Devi is divine. What a Red Bull clutch to keep PRX well and truly on the tracks.
Team Heretics know that that round could have absolutely shifted the momentum, but it's a 4-round run for PRX now in this second half. Disaster for the European side.
Finished.
Forsaken comes up clutch with these 2 kills to get them back into the round.
Both Riens and Boo still pulling up their trousers, util in hand. Can't play off of each other at all. That is huge.
They feel like they didn't have the time to waste either to collect some of the rifles that were a little bit deeper on that A site. They go for it with the sheriffs. Might be regretting that decision at this point. Drop the pit. And they've even got the Hunter's Fury late if the spike is really being pressured by a Team Heretics retake. They've got 2 ults they're relatively close to. Maybe they can get this orb. Maybe Root finds a kill, right? But you're asking a lot. Oh my god, the early Hunter's Fury double connection!
Oh, that's devastating! This was the round that Heretics were trying to shore up their half the map. Benji at least is able to lean in, intercede to find a kill. That is an awful way to start with, and he's pinged out again. He's got to give this ground up. All of the A side now belongs to PRX. Look at the timing though. Heretics trying to get in ahead of this, but Miniboo is shut down instantly. And Benji, beleaguered as he is, on all sides, guns are trained at the killjoy. And that was absolutely diabolical.
Something gets an amazing deep position there as well, all the way back Rafter. That was eventually going to be the nail in the coffin on that round, no matter what. I was talking about Forsaken. He could use that in a post plant or just get an immediate drone tag. Double hit. Jing takes all of the space that was created because of that as well. Oh my God, whatever they had planned in that round. Couldn't even begin to guess. I mean, it was just out the window immediately.
That's as the Hunter's Fury comes in. You can see Weber just throw his head back. Okay, Heretics, credit to them. Still want to find a burst of speed here, but oh, the boys were waiting for you, Miniboo. You were expected.
Yeah, just hoping that Forsaken would be in that closer tucked position that Asoba will often be in, but was safe, playing back for the multiple players to guard him.
It's just filthy.
They're trying to make hero plays. You can't blame them. They've only got sheriffs. PRX have absolutely shut them down. Their economy is completely out of control. Don't do it again. Don't do it again. Don't do it again. All right, thank you. We can't have two knives in the debut game.
Yeah,
Man.
cure for hypotension.
We cannot do that.
So very quickly, those 2 rounds fall. Heretics back on a buy. Now with Thrash and Lockdown to work with. Like, I like the idea. Heretics, obviously, with a back-breaking round. They were virtually 2-dimensional after that one. Still want to go forward, play that PRX-esque, aggressive B-side play, at least use their Neon to get something. But man, I mean, PRX wrote the script for that. They were there when the deep magic was written.
6-round run coming into this with an 80+% win rate on attack. We're seeing exactly why. Deep recon is going to come through mid, and then something can swing off this with Patman. No one is going to actually be spotted by it. No, Benji caught, and there's a teleport into spawn. Disarray for Heretics.
Oh man, they're getting clowned on. This is the rifle round. They were trying desperately to bail water out of this quickly sinking boat. And they've already been cut down to 3 players, and Patman is on a timing, but there's an awareness here for Woot. He kind of knows it, and he's ready.
I was going to say, Patman, he's just in the walls at all times, but Heretics ready now. This is winnable.
Yep, something spotted out. Here comes a fast retake for Heretics. Good start. Forsaken dealt with Raptor's control, assumed. Woot very sharp this round. Thrash here will look to find Divide, last standing member of PRX, and in midair he is detained. Heretics come up for air. It's a breather, a brief respite. But boy howdy, look at those wallets on the side of PRX. They are bulging.
Desperately needed round win from Heretics. They're losing players early, and they still manage to pull it off. They do a great job getting back into that site together. The distraction from Rafters, and then you have Woot coming lower. I mean, the distraction. Benji knows he's in there, but just can't do anything about it. It's that moment where something tucked in that deep position again is forced to look towards Rafters. And Woot takes advantage of that distraction to get a free kill. This is going to be such an uphill battle for Team Heretics as they have to just face down a PRX that won't be saving anytime soon, if at all, this half.
It's possible Alex took exception with that round from PRX. I can't be sure. Wow! Oh, but he's not ready. He's clearing the recon, and Jing is just too far ahead of the play for him.
He just double teleports forward. He gets all of that space for free. You're never expecting it on defense.
Rian's has to salvage. The only player inside the A site for now. Disrespecting the smoke at Rafters, and look at Patman pushed all the way up on B.
He's just got the craziest lurk timings. He's going to have to accelerate a bit. The Team Heretics try to get in off this fast lane. They're getting towards screens. It's slow right now. Relay bolt doesn't hit something. Here comes the lockdown.
He's going after it. By hook or by crook. Something is looking for this, and there's Patman on the lurk timing. Oh, the lockdown is popped out from under Heretics.
I can't with this guy. He's crazy.
And our Heretics know they really can't play off the site. They've got to commit. They've got to challenge this. Not too shabby there from Miniboo, but Jing deigns to descend from the ivory tower to deal with death blow to the
This is winnable. Patman's too far away.
Can he get a touch? Unreal! The Red Bull clutch. A crucial one here for Woot as Wingman does the job. Man, they really had to fight scrappy for that one. Wyatt 3 up for Heretics, and they come out with a dub.
His little pal just gives him that effective 2 versus 2. Wins the highest impact 1v1. But talk about Miniboo, what an adjustment. Looks like he's already in the grave when he gets this third kill. What is that, man? What is that?
So Heretics have taken a chunk out of that PRX economy. 1 round closer to their total. There's a lot of work still to do. We're going to have an early Viper Spit on the B side of the map. PRX clearly no interest in challenging it early this round.
Batman wants to go on another wild adventure.
Okay.
Go up to, well, the rest of the team are focused on, Team Heretics, triple stacked up. They go drone for drone. Oh my god, the last Hunter's Fury was really solid.
Nice schmooze there from Miniboo. Avoids what would have been a lethal connection.
Placing swarm grenade.
PRX had to be satisfied with a little bit of damage onto the Neon, but Miniboo also has that overdrive and already. Here's Jing again. They are never ready for Jing! From the top rope, he's able to find his... Rien's claps back now, has to drop to the side. This is good anchoring. Can he do with something? No, the shorty. More than he can deal with. And Boo laboriously will drag himself across the map to challenge this.
Planted.
Jing has just been an absolute animal on both maps. Countless first kills.
Boo gives a double swing. He's gonna have to deal with it. Oh, the King's Horses and Men emerge. Then the Viper is dealt with. Match point now comes up. PRX. There was a narrative, right, if you're a PRX fan? Or even a hater. You're familiar with the feeding narrative, but it's never been less true. With Patman joining this lineup, that stabilizing force. They've been so clean. They've strung together 6 attack side rounds as the half began.
Heretics on defense have had absolutely no clue how to deal with Jing, getting in these absurd forward teleport positions. Playing with so much more aggression than you would typically see from Omens on this map. Something! Connection. Wow. Damage for damage.
Yep. They both take a hit there. Hunter's Fury now being deployed by Rians. What is there to find here? Comes up with nothing. Patman hears him. How is he here already? The conditioning utterly broken on the side of Heretics, and now it's up to Boo again. 30 points of health to try and slow the PRX train down, but choo-choo, baby! We have more than left the station! Paper Rex have arrived in the 6.
Feels like they've never been